So here we are with Mr. BigAdz, or ADE, Coach ADE. It's been another tough session for BILAL, Mohammed Ali of Stamina for Sale, and sort of, are you guys enjoying your workouts? We saw you doing the mitts, and that looked like an intensive workout right there.
Yeah, we try and keep the pressure on all the time, because that's how, you're going to get the best out of yourself, is to keep the pressure on yourself. After a certain time, you're just trying to increase everything that you do. Increase your power, increase your speed, increase your technique, increase your awareness, and it all rolls into one. So like they say, what they say, practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So you just got to keep working,
Absolutely. And in terms of, we've spoken to Tunde, and we know Tunde's story in terms of how you got into boxing.
Yeah.
But we were wondering about, sort of yourself. How did you sort of get into boxing from the beginning? What's the story right there?
Well, I started off football actually. I was a YTS at Barnet. Signed my first pro forms at Barnet. Went from there to Grays. So I was always interested in boxing, but I followed football myself. And when I came out of football at probably the age of like 23, I think it was at the age, I just got into a normal job, went into security, and then I used to just come down the gym, come to here. My brother, actually it was my brother, I told my brother, I said, yeah, I want to start doing a bit of boxing just to keep fit, keep my hands moving and stuff like that, try and get a bit, keep my shape a bit. And he goes, you know what, go and see a guy called Tunde down at Peacock Gym. So I was like, who's Tunde? He goes, oh, he used to come to my mum's laundrette, and he goes, go and see him, tell him I said you're my brother and that I should, try and help me, take me on the pads. So I rolled down there one day, got to the front there, said, I'm looking for Tunde, and they said, yeah, go down the back. I went down the back, I see Tunde, and he was training, I think it was a guy called Cash at that time, and he was doing all this pad work, mitt work, and I looked at it and I thought, this looks splash, this looks good, and I thought, I can do this in a week, this is nothing, like that. So I said, yeah, Tun, and we bucked up from there, and I said, look, I want to try and do some work with you, and he goes, yeah, come down, and we set a date, and I came down. The first session, he was like, all right, let's just start it off. So he was trying to teach me the combination. I'm telling you, 5 minutes into it, I thought, oh, I'm going home. This is too much for me. Like, and at that time there was a combination called 40 hit combo, and now that is a walk in the park, absolutely a walk in the park. But at that time, guys would be sweating blood to try and get to 25 punches without stopping. And Tunde always used to have a saying, tiredness affects the brain, and you hated it when he said it, because he was getting on top of you and he was mentally defeating you, because you would be like sweating, like your t-shirt would be absolutely leaking, like you was standing in the rain for 4 hours, and he would go, keep going. In them days, Tunde used to shout as well, so you got me, this big guy, and then there was Tunde shouting at me like I'm a little kid, and I'll be like, I just want to go home, I don't even want to be here. But it was good. And then basically years went on, I was training with T, and I was working, and years went on, and then I started doing a little bit of pads, and he said, look, Ad, you've got something, and basically I want you to progress and become a trainer, and he invited me into the team officially, and I went about getting my license, and then I was there from Anthony's first fight and learning the ropes and just being Tunde's understudy basically. So he's literally taught me everything I know about boxing. I'm telling you, because back in the day I didn't know nothing. I didn't even know that you had to have a certain size of gloves or anything like that. I just thought you just turned up on the night, knocked the guy out and went home. So you couldn't tell me about an 8-week or 10-week or whatever camp. I didn't know nothing about that, as probably a lot of people from the outside probably don't. But there's a lot into it. Boxing is literally, it's an art. It is an art form, and it's hard to understand that from an outside point of view, but when you're in there every day and you come and see the guys and they're sparring, they're doing their bag work, they're doing their pad work, you're looking at their technique, their positioning, their athleticism, their speed, their timing, you realise that this thing is literally an art. It's like I've said before, it's a very brutal sport, extremely brutal. People get hurt, people can get hurt, and in some ways the body can do what the body can do, but once you're developing someone into a fighter, should I say, someone that is skilled in the art of fighting, and you can assess their opponent quicker than their opponent can assess them, see weaknesses and strengths and know when to capitalize and how to capitalize, you know you're developing a fighter. You know? And I'm saying fighter, and in some ways you could, it might sound a bit funny, but you could say an artist, because when you go in there with, you know, 8-ounce gloves on, it's not a joke. You know, every time you step in there, there's a massive risk. But once you, not only you understand the risk, but you're in a position to be able to capitalize on the risk in your benefit, you know you've learned and you've been taught something that you understand, and you're beginning to not only learn but master. That takes a lot of time. You know, Tunde said it in an interview. He's brought up a system which he has, which we all follow. From this, and obviously it's come from Tunde. Anthony follows it. I've learned it, learning it, and following it. BILAL is learning it and following it as well. So, and that system 9 is something that, I mean, you see it in the way Anthony fights it, you will see it in the way BILAL fights as well. It's just something that, it's a progression of, how can I say, it's a progression of a system that never ends, which keeps the boxer continuously learning. That's the best way, because it's a progression of a system that never ends, which allows the boxer to continually learn.
And sort of the athletes are like the clay, and you have to sort of mold them to be the right shape, so to speak.
Exactly. You know, it's you are literally you are taking a raw clay form and forming it into, in a way, a work of art. You know, it might sound a bit dramatic, but it's kind of a way that I think people understand. If you see the way Anthony fights, I mean, you've seen Bilal spar and stuff like that, and his work ethic and his work developing him, working on his technique, his balance, his awareness, his timing, his speed as well, which he's mentioned. All of that are good attributes, but then having the mentality and the belief system to go into a ring and come up against an opponent.
And also provide entertainment to the audience as well.
Exactly, provide entertainment, and to see his weaknesses and capitalise on him, you know, it's something that it takes a long, deep thought process, you know.
And in terms of the clay you have in sort of Anthony Yarde, you know, how far do you believe you can actually go?
I believe Anthony can go all the way. You know, I truly believe Anthony can go all the way. I also believe that he probably, you know, in some way, shape or form, will probably be the face of boxing sooner or later.
So not just a world champion, but potentially a multiple world champion.
I believe that, so.
Fantastic. And he does have the personality for it as well. So.
Yeah, he does have the personality for it, you know. He's a smart boy, good looking boy, you know, he stays in the gym, he's got an absolute animal work ethic, you know, he's always willing to learn, he pushes himself extremely hard, you know, in having a teacher like Tunde as well, I would say it's even more than some kind of a blessing. What it is a coming together of two people who want the same goal and want it to be as big as possible. You know, Tunde is not only a teacher, he's a mentor. He has this ability to see a person and see what's good about them, see what needs to improve on, and see how far they can go. You know, that's a very unique eye. You know, in some ways he's like a very technical football manager. He can see a raw talent and know how to develop that into, you know, a superstar. And
in terms of the fans, sort of, well, they have to be sort of patient, and they will eventually sort of see Anthony in the fights that they want to see him in.
Of course, everything, you know, Tunde said it many a times, our whole camp says it, you know, timing is everything. Timing is literally everything. There is no rush. Everything will happen at its time, at the correct time, when it's supposed to happen. There literally is no rush. Obviously, for an outsider, you know, you see a Ferrari going down the road at, I don't know, 60 miles an hour. You want to see it go at 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, they must see if it takes on the Lamborghini, right? So
exactly.
People are just curious like that.
You know, wait until it gets on the motorway, and then when that time comes, and then it will open up, and you'll see, you know, you'll see what you want to see. You know what I mean? But you understand that point of view from the fans. Of course, they're fans. They want to see excitement. They see someone that they can see someone who definitely brings excitement, and they want to see more excitement from it, and they will. But everything is time, and there's literally no rush. You know?
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Coach Ade. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, because you guys come down. You show us a lot of support, a lot of love.